Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. In this session, we'll be discussing from the 12th verse of the 9th chapter of the first canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Aho kashtam aho anyayam yadyuyam dharmanandanaha jivitum na arhatha klishtam vipradharmachutashrayaha. The meaning of this verse is, Bhishma Deva is speaking. Bhishma Deva said, "Oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustices you good souls suffer for being the sons of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God and religion." So Bhishma Deva is speaking to the Pandavas. He is very happy that the Pandavas have won the battle, and he's shedding tears of ecstasy seeing the Pandavas having won the battle of Kurukshetra and got back their lost kingdom. So he is now remarking what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustices you good souls suffer. The Pandavas are headed by Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is the son of Dharma, Yamadharma Raja, Yamaraj, the one who gives justice, administers justice to all those souls at the end of their, human beings at the end of their life. If they have deviated from the religious principles, then according to the degree of violation, they are given suitable punishment by Yamaraj. So, Yudhishthira, as a son of Yamaraj, he knows perfectly what is dharma, and he was very, very strictly following all the religious principles. And that was how Duryodhana was able to cheat Yudhishthira and the Pandavas. Even though sometimes Bhima would actually protest against Yudhishthira's being very, very righteous. Against Duryodhana's cheating, Bhima would protest. But still Yudhishthira would not break any religious principle in order to avoid getting cheated by Duryodhana. Duryodhana took undue advantage, knowing very well that Yudhishthira is very righteous. He took undue advantage of that. And that is how Yudhishthira was and the Pandavas were cheated and sent away to exile in the forest for 13 years. And Duryodhana was ruling for 13 years, and he was making all plans that when they come back, his plan was never that they should come back. How cleverly Duryodhana had sent them away in exile. He had sent them away for 12 years. They live in the forest. And the 13th year, the last year, 1 year, they live incognito. They have to hide somewhere. And if Duryodhana and party discover where they are hiding, then another 13 years they have to go for exile. Duryodhana's plan was that he will have his informers everywhere. And wherever the Pandavas go for hiding, he'll discover, he'll point out the Pandavas are hiding here and then send them again 13 years. So he thought, as long as I'm alive, or as long as the Pandavas are alive, I'll be ruling. Because wherever the Pandavas are, I'll discover where they are hiding and send them again and again 13 years. This was the plan, that sinister plan this Duryodhana had made. In consultation with his maternal uncle Shakuni. Shakuni was very much angry at the Kuru dynasty because his beautiful sister Gandhari, who was the most eligible princess before she was married, she was married to the blind king Dhritarashtra. So he was very, very unhappy. My sister did not get a suitable husband. That was what Shakuni, the brother of Gandhari, was thinking. So when he saw that he could not stop Gandhari getting married to Dhritarashtra, then the blind king, he decided, I am going to completely destroy this Kuru dynasty. Because Dhritarashtra was the head of the Kuru dynasty as the emperor of the world. Of course, he was a caretaker king. But still, Shakuni decided, I am going to completely destroy this Kuru dynasty. So in order to destroy the Kuru dynasty, he plotted with this Duryodhana, knowing very well that Duryodhana wants to cheat the Pandavas, and in that way the Pandavas will not be able to rule, the Kuru dynasty successors will not be able to rule the world properly. He wanted that the Pandavas should not rule the world by being cheated of their claim for the throne. So he and Duryodhana plotted to cheat the Pandavas in a gambling match. You see, this is how Duryodhana was not very, very intelligent in that sense to have cheated the Pandavas. But Shakuni, he was expert in this gambling. So he arranged in such a way that always Duryodhana will win and Yudhishthira will lose the match. And that's how Yudhishthira lost everything and simply was sent away to the forest. So Bhishma Dev was remarking, oh, how terrible it is that you good souls, you don't deserve to actually suffer in this way because you're upright, you're morally upright, you're following all the religious principles perfectly. Still you have to suffer so much injustice. And he's further telling, you did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations. They should have died so many instances. For example, they were sent to a palace which was built with shellac, combustible material. But Vidura came to know about this and secretly informed Yudhishthira. And Yudhishthira, with the help of Vidura, actually managed to escape this plot by Duryodhana. Duryodhana and party, they were living with the Kauravas in the same palace, but Duryodhana once made this plan that why the Pandavas should share the palace with us. let us build them a beautiful palace, a very, very nice palace elsewhere, and then let them live separately. Why they should share? Why we should share? So he built another palace, beautiful palace, but he had arranged that it be built with combustible material, shellac. And when the Pandavas have gone and settled down there, suddenly one day he will arrange to set it on fire and they'll be burnt alive inside before they can escape. Because immediately the fire will spread everywhere. So this was Duryodhana's plan. And because Yudhishthira came to know from Vidura, before even moving to that new palace, Yudhishthira arranged to secretly dig a tunnel from underneath that new palace, and they escaped. Pandavas escaped before it could be set on fire. In fact, the Mahabharata says the Pandavas themselves set it on fire and escaped through the tunnel. So, when it was completely set on fire, everybody thought the Pandavas are inside that palace and they have been burnt alive. So, even Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they knew that the Pandavas were not supposed to be cheated in this way, but still, because of Dhritarashtra's blind affection for his son, unworthy son, Duryodhana, and Duryodhana's enviousness and jealousy towards the Pandavas, that this whole plot was carried out. And they thought that they had effectively gotten rid of the Pandavas. But actually, the Pandavas had escaped. So here it is said, all these types of terrible injustices, they actually were able to avoid being killed because of the protection by the Brahmanas, God and religion. Brahmanas, because Brahmanas always bless those who are righteous, those who are following religious principles. Brahmanas will never extend blessings to sinful people, to unrighteous people like Duryodhana. They can never get the blessings of Brahmanas. Similarly, God, Krishna. Krishna is always on the side of Dharma. In the end of the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha Tatra Shri Vijaya Bhuti Dhruva Niti Matir Mama. Niti. Morality is always on the side of the righteous persons who are God-conscious people. Those who are godless, they can never be morally upright. Never, never. Because sometimes they make a show of being morally upright. But that's just a show. It is cheating actually. It is to fool innocent people that we are very morally upright. We are truthful. We are honest. We are hardworking. But actually, if somebody is godless, even if they make a show of being honest, it has no real value. It has no real value. So like that, Bhagavad Gita teaches us that morality is always with the God-conscious people, not with godless people. Always with the divine-natured people, never with demoniac-natured persons, never. They cannot be morally upright, not possible. So the Pandavas were protected, as Bhishma Deva is telling, by Brahmanas, by God, Krishna, and by religion. The religious principles itself is a protection. Those who follow religious principles, religion itself protects them. In the sense, the administrator of religious principles, Yama, Yama will always protect those who are following religious principles. He'll punish those who are lawbreakers, those who are irreligious, those who are violating religious principles. And this is the reason always the Pandavas did not actually get killed so many times. They were attempted to be killed. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.